Marta Devi. Okay. Next, Analia Alfia Rahma.
Yes, I present.
Okay. And the last, Fauzan Naufal Rizky and Tim. Fauzan. Okay. We will wait for Fauzan. Okay. Because there is only Fauzan is no in this room, we will start it. Okay. So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the parallel session at the International Conference of Advancement in Data Science, E-Learning, and Information System, or ICADES 2024, 25. Okay, my name is Angel Metanosa Avinda, and you can call me Angel. And I'm excited to be your moderator for today's session. Okay, maybe the presenter, please turn on your camera. And in this session, we will exploring the topic of NLP, or Natural Language Processing, and the Large Language Model, or LLM. Okay, so our speakers will share their innovative research on topics such as conventional recommender system, and then emotion detection, and AI-generated text detection. And this presentation highlight the amazing potential and power of NLP in the world today. Okay, so before we dive in, let me briefly explain the rules of our session to ensure everything runs smoothly. Okay, please hear correctly, guys. The first is each presenter will have 10 minutes for their presentation. So just 10 minutes. I will give a 2 minutes reminder at the 8-minute mark and the 10-minute mark. And I will say time's up in chat. So please check the chat box continuously. And next, after each presentation, we will have 5 minutes of Q&A session. And for online session, each presenter will have a maximum of 15 minutes for Q&A, with an option of extend up to 20 minutes if necessary. Okay, next, please hold your question until the Q&A session after each presentation. If a presenter is not ready to begin within 1 minute of their scheduled time, we will process with the next presenter, and the delayed presenter will be rescheduled to the end of the session. So please be on time. And the last is kindly make sure to mute your microphones unless you are invited to speak. Okay. Next, about display name reminder. So please ensure that all presenters update their display name to include their paper ID, paper ID, and then name. Okay, because this help get everything organized. And the last is please make sure to use the official background provided for the session to keep things looking professional. Okay, maybe any question? I think, is it clear? Maybe you can give a reaction if it is clear. Okay, okay, okay. So let's begin with our first presenter, Mrs. Elvira Wulandari. She will be presenting her paper titled BELT, Large Language Model Based Conversational Recommender System for Beauty Products. So, Mrs. Elvira, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, please go ahead. Time is yours.
Thank you, Mrs. Angel. Let me share my screen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alvira Wandari, and I will present our research, BEL, Large Language Model-Based Conversational Recommender System for Beauty Products. Our research represents an innovative recommendation leveraging advanced language model to create a more intuitive and conversational shopping experience in the beauty industry. The presentation will be divided into 4 parts. First is introduction, second is methodology, third is experimental results, and finally, conclusions and future work. The beauty industry has experienced remarkable growth but faces significant challenges. These include the overwhelming variety of products, rapidly evolving consumer preferences, and the difficulty consumers face in choosing the right products, especially when shopping online. Conventional recommender systems often fail to address these challenges, as they struggle to provide personalized and contextually relevant suggestions tailored to individual needs. And to address this gap, we developed BEL, a recommender system that integrates a fine-tuned large language model, or LLM, specifically GPT-4o, with a conversational recommender system, or CRS. BEL is designed to deliver personalized, dynamic, and interactive recommendations, offering users a seamless experience in finding beauty products that align with their unique preferences. To better understand BEL's functionality, I will explain the workflow process that illustrated in this diagram. The process begins with the user providing their preferences. This can include specific product categories, price range, or other desired attributes. And then BEL uses a fine-tuned GPT model to process and interpret the user's input, and this step ensures the system understands the user's requirement accurately, even in natural language. And then based on the processed input, BEL generates several information that bridge user preferences and the product database. And the system now queries the database to retrieve product information that match the generated relevant information. And the retrieved product information is then checked against the user's preferences. If the match is unsuccessful, the system loops back to refine the recommendation based on the additional inputs or clarification from the user. But once a match is achieved, BEL delivers personalized beauty product recommendations to the user. For the dataset, we use dataset from Kaggle, which consists of 6,054 beauty products. And after pre-processing the data, such as removing irrelevant column and handling missing values, we selected a subset of 210 entries. And the subset was divided into 170 training and 40 validation data points. And to ensure the model could understand conversational patterns, the data was transformed into a dialog format. For instance, a user might ask for a moisturizer under a specific price range, and the system would respond the relevant product recommendations. This formatted data was saved in JSON format and uploaded to OpenAI's platform for fine-tuning. We also employed prompt engineering to refine BEL's responses, and this ensured the system remained focused on the beauty-related topics and providing accurate and contextually relevant answers. And finally, we implement a BEL on the Telegram platform, and this choice allowed user to interact directly with the system in a familiar and user-friendly environment, and making the recommendation process both accessible and intuitive. Now let's discuss the experimental result, which demonstrate BEL's effectiveness. Fine-tuning based on LLM was conducted using the GPT-4o 2024-0806 base model, and the fine-tuning process showed promising outcomes with a training loss and validation loss, as shown in the table. And these values indicate that the model effectively learned from the training data while maintaining a strong generalization ability to new inputs. We also evaluated the system semantic similarity using BERT precision, recall, and F1 score metrics. And after fine-tuning, this matrix showed a significant improvement, indicating the better accuracy and relevance in the model's responses. Cause and similarity also improved, reflecting a closer alignment between BEL's recommendations and the reference data. Additionally, we assess the diversity of Bell's responses using the distinct one metric. The score increased after fine-tuning, as shown in the table, demonstrating that the system can generate varied natural responses, which enhance user engagement and interaction quality. In conclusion, Bell represents a significant advancement in beauty product recommender system. By combining the strength of large language model and conversational recommender system, Bell provides users with a personalized, dynamic, and interactive experience. While Bell has shown great potential, there are several limitations to consider. First, the dataset consists of only 6,054 beauty products and did not include real-time data from e-commerce platforms. This limits the system's ability to provide up-to-date and diverse recommendations. And second, the fine-tuning process involved only 210 data points, which is relatively small for a system intended to operate at an industrial scale. So this may restrict the system's ability to generalize to a broader range of scenarios. And lastly, the system has not yet been evaluated by real user. As a result, its effectiveness and user satisfaction in real-world scenarios remain untested. And to address these limitations, we have outlined several directions for future work. First is by incorporating more comprehensive and diverse data, including real-time information from e-commerce platform. So we aim to enhance the system's ability to provide accurate and relevant recommendations. And second, increasing the scale of fine-tuning with a larger dataset will improve the system generalization capabilities, making it suitable for industrial applications. For the third is conducting evaluation with real users will provide valuable insights into the system's effectiveness and user satisfaction. And this feedback will be crucial for refining Bell's functionality. And for the fourth is comparing Bell's performance with other recommender systems, such as those based on deep learning or CNNs, will help identify areas for further improvement. So, Bell has the potential to transform how consumers interact with beauty products, offering tailored recommendations that align with their unique preferences and needs. I think that's all of my presentation. Thank you for your time and attention, and I will return to moderator. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Elvira, for the insightful presentation. And now we will open the floor of question. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any question for Elvira, please use the raise hand feature or type your question in chat, and I will call on you to ask. And please remember to state your name and affiliation before asking. Maybe any question? Okay. Please. Oh, wait, siapa ini? Okay, please, Mr. Alvisa Widya.
Okay. Thank you for your opportunity. My name Alvisa Widya Wirawan from Telkom University. I have question. In your presentation, you mentioned implementing Bell on Telegram platform. Nah, why did you specifically choose Telegram over other messaging platform? And what technical challenge did you face during this implementation? Thank you.
Thank you for the question, Mr. Alvesa. And yeah, we select Telegram because it's open API and have extensive bot support and ease of integration in AI models with AI models like GPT-4o. Also, Telegram provides a developer-friendly environment that allows for real-time interaction, which is very essential for conversational recommender system like Bell. And beside that, another advantage is that Telegram has a large and active user base, so it's make the ideal platform for reaching a broad audience. About the second question, technical challenges is I think one of the main issues was response latency, because since LLM-based recommendations require real-time processing, we had to optimize our prompt structure and API request handling to reduce delays between the conversations. And beside that, another challenge was how to maintain contextual continuity, because we must the system must remember the user preferences throughout the conversation. So we address this by implementing the session management techniques. So the system can remember the history of the chat. The the system can track and refine recommendations based on their previous users' input. I think that's the answer. Thank you.
Okay, is it clear, Mr. Alvisa?
Yes, Miss.
Okay, thank you, Alvira. Next, there one question again from Fatan Askar. Please give your question.
Okay, hello, my name is Fatan Askar, and I'm from Telkom University. I'd like to ask, what were the biggest challenges in fine-tuning the GPT-4 model for this recommender system? That's it.
Thank you for the question, Mr. Fatan. Let me answer the question. So one of the main challenges is how to balancing the model adaptability and response consistency, because fine-tuning helps personalize recommendations, but too much fine-tuning can lead the overfit, which is the model become too rely on to the training examples and struggles with handling a new inputs. And another challenge we face is fine-tuning doesn't change the basic knowledge or the core knowledge of GPT-4o very much. So while Bell became better at giving beauty-related recommendations, it still lead heavily on the general pre-trained knowledge or the basic knowledge itself. And to address this, we made sure our fine-tuning data was well structured. And as I mentioned before, we use prompt engineering to keep Bell or the system focused on the beauty topics only. And we believe this way could guide the system to give diverse and natural responses. I think that's the answer. Thank you.
Okay, is it clear?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Alvira. Any other question, guys? Okay, maybe there are one question from me to close your session. So, Mrs. Alvira, in your paper, you use LLM method, right? So, how does it handle different beauty product preferences and give personalized recommendation? Because as we know, LLM is such a massive method for this day. So, how to use the LLM for the conversational recommendation system for beauty product preferences, in your opinion?
So the LLM itself, it's for the basic knowledge of the conversational. So it can handle the conversationals with a natural conversation, with a natural dialogue, or natural conversational. So how to handle that? We combine the LLM methods and conversational recommender system. So we must to do a fine tuning for the LLM and the prompt engineering. So the LLM can handle beauty topics related only, and other than that, it can be the answer by the LLM.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for your detailed answer, Mrs. Elvira. Okay, I think is it enough for Elvira's session. So thank you again, Elvira. Now let's move on to the next paper. We have Mr. Maderido Paramarta, who will be presenting his paper on emotion classification based on social media text upload patterns using the Albert method. Mr. Made, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready, Mrs.
Okay, so Mr. Made, the stage is yours.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Daniel, for the time. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here today. The title of my research paper is Emotion Classification Based on Social Media Text Upload Pattern Using the Albert Method. My name is Maderido Paramarta, and I'm from Telkom University Bandung. And this research was conducted under the supervision of Dr. Larina. The study explored the use of Albert, an advanced NLP model, to classify emotion in social media text. Given the complexity of emotion detection in online context, our approach leverages deep learning to improve performances. Okay, to provide a clear structure for this representation, let's take a look at the contents. We will begin with the introduction, where we outline the challenge of emotion classification on social media and how the Albert model effectively address this issue. Next, in the research method, I will explain the methodologies applied in this study. In the experiment section, we will explore insight from parameter testing and performance evaluation. Finally, we will conclude by summarizing key findings, discussing challenges encountered, and providing recommendations for future research. Now, let's move on to the introduction section. As we know, social media has become a key platform where people express emotions such as happiness, anger, sadness, and fear. These expressions influence interaction and responses online, strengthening relationship, raising awareness, or encouraging support. As a result, understanding emotion on social media has gained significant importance, especially for applications like sentiment analysis and mental health monitoring. However, studying emotion on social media can reduce challenges. One of the main obstacles is the use of informal language, such as slang, abbreviation, and emojis, which can make it difficult to accurately interpret emotional tone. In addition, the complexity of distinguishing of living words that may represent multiple emotion categories further complicates the text, requiring more complex model for effective emotion classification. In this context, Albert, a lightweight version of BERT, offers significant advantages. It is designed for computational efficiency while still maintaining a strong ability to understand contextual relationship within text. Research has shown that Albert performs exceptionally well in emotion classification, especially when working with informal and noisy text, typical of social media platform. Given these challenges and strengths, the study aimed to address the issue in emotion classification on social media text using the Albert model. The primary focus is on fine-tuning the Albert model and optimizing its hyperparameter to enhance its performances. Furthermore, early stopping is implemented to prevent overfitting. In addition, data augmentation techniques are applied to generate diverse textual data, which help the model generate better across different contexts and linguistic patterns, ensuring more robust and accurate emotion detection. Okay, for the research method, this research use the pre-trained Albert model, which is then fine-tuned with the dataset. The dataset also has gone through a pre-processing process. After that, hyperparameter tuning is performed on the Albert model. And finally, evaluation is conducted using score and accuracy. Okay, let's move on to the experiment. As it can be seen in the slide, that there are several experiments. Experiment with the original dataset and experiment for the dataset that has been augmented. For original dataset, the best performance for learning rate 1E-1 was achieved with a base size of 8 and 64, resulting in an F1 score of 0.1317 and an accuracy of 29.17%. And for learning rate 1E-2, the best performance was achieved with a base size of 64, resulting in an F1 score of 0.1317 and an accuracy of 29.17%. For learning grade 1 in ministry, the best performance was achieved at a BETS of 8, resulting in an advanced score of 0.1267 and an accuracy of 28.54%. The best performance for learning grade 1 in -4 was achieved with a BETS of 64, resulting in an advanced score of 0.4189 and an accuracy of 37.1%. For learning grade 1 in -5, the best performance was achieved with a BETS of 8, resulting in an F1 score of 0.7091 and accuracy of 70.77%. For the augmented dataset in the last table, the best performance was achieved with a learning grade of 1 in -5 and BETS of 8, resulting in an F1 score of 0.8959 and an accuracy of 89.95%. I already highlight the best performance in each dataset. For the original dataset, the best performance was achieved with the hyperparameter configuration of a learning rate of 1 in -5 and BETS of 8, with an accuracy of 70.77% and an effort score of 0.7091. Meanwhile, for the augmented dataset, the best performance was the same as the original data. The best performance was at learning rate 1 in -5 and a BETS of 8, but with an accuracy of 89.95% and F1 score of 0.895%. This also justifies that the combination of small learning rate and small datasets provides stability in parameter update and allow the model to increase gradient variability. Furthermore, the research use one-way ANOVA. This one-way ANOVA is to statically analyze the significant impact of learning rate. The result of the one-way ANOVA for the accuracy metric has an F-static of 61.75 and a p-value of 3.90 E-9. And for the F1 score metric, it has an F-static of 36.55 and a p-value of 1.46 E-7. The p-value for each metric are much smaller than 0.05, and this indicating a significant impact of the learning rate on both accuracy and score. Although it can be said that the ALGOR model performed well in emotion classification tests, there are challenges such as unbalanced data distribution. This can be seen in the table, the original dataset and the augmented dataset, where the data imbalance still exists. Challenges like overlapping vocabulary between emotion categories are also faced by the model in performing emotion classification tasks. These two challenges, unbalanced data distribution and overlapping vocabulary between emotion categories, should still be considered as they affect the model performance, especially in the binary case. Now we approach the conclusion of this presentation. The ALGOR model demonstrates strong performance in emotion classification of social media text, achieving an accuracy of 89.95% and an F1 score of 0.8959 with optimal hyperparameters, especially a learning rate of 1 in -5 and a BETS of 8. The study highlighted lower learning rate significantly enhanced our ability to recognize emotion effectively, while proper hyperparametric tuning improved the model generalization to unseen. Despite its success, challenges such as unbalanced data distribution and overlapping vocabulary between emotion categories, particularly in a minor class, still remain. Addressing this issue through improved pre-processing method and advanced recognition technique could further enhance the model performance in the first context. Additionally, due to its low computational cost, ALBERT is highly suitable for real-time applications, such as sentiment analysis dashboard and mental health early warning system, making it a promising tool for critical implementation. Okay, that's all for my presentation. If you have any question or feedback, I will be happy to discuss it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ramade, for the great presentation. So we will now open the floor for question or Q&A session. So if anyone has any question, please use the raise hand feature or type your question in chat box feature, and I will call on you. And please introduce yourself before asking your question. Okay, maybe there are any question? Okay, Please, Mr. Novi Prawira.
Okay, thank you for the chance to ask. I'm Nobi Purwira, from Telkom University also. Um, the question is, I actually work on similar project as you, Mr. Made, and I know that classifying emotion from social media text is quite challenging, you can say. The question is, what obstacle or challenges that you face in this project? And how does the algorithm that you propose or Albert address those challenges? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the question, Mr. Nobi. Yeah, we know doing a classification emotion on media social text is quite challenging because in social media text there are many abbreviation or maybe overlapping vocabulary between emotion categories. But with fine tuning of the Albert model can help to addressing this issue. Parameter sharing technique that Albert has can quite help the model to understand uh, the relation between text. And in my research for learning rate and small learning rate and small data size can help the model to understand the text accurately. I think that's all.
Okay, is it clear?
Yeah, I'm quite satisfied. Thank you, Mr. Made.
Okay, thank you. So the next question is from Abdul Aziz Febriansyah. So please, Mr. Abdul Aziz.
Okay, thank you. My name is Abdul Aziz, and I am from Telkom University. I want to ask for Mr. Madegido. So, what is given the finding of this study or this research? What potential application do you see for Albert in real world scenarios?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Abdul. I want to clarify the question. Is your question is what is maybe the potential application in the real world? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Abdul. As I said in the conclusion page, given the Albert's strong performance in emotion classification, it has several potential applications, particularly in sentiment analysis dashboard for business maybe, or real-time emotion monitoring for social media platform. Why I say that Albert is suitable for real-time emotion detection, because Albert has a low computational cost, and it makes suitable for deployment in a real-time application where quick and efficient emotion detection is needed.
Okay, is it clear, Mr. Abdul Aziz?
Okay, it's clear, Miss. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Maybe the last question is from me. Okay. So, Mr. Made, okay. As you mentioned before, you use the Albert model to classify emotion in the social media text, right? So, I want a quick question. How do you handle sarcasm, irony, or unclear language that could make your emotion detection less accurate?
Okay, thank you, Ms. Angel, for the question. As we know, before the data set is processed by the model, we included the pre-processing method. For that question, we also use the text normalization. But despite that, the text normalization that I use in this research is not quite good. As we can see in the indication of poor text representation, there are still some words that have maybe another meaning that still can we see in another emotion categories. So it can make the model hard to detect an emotion.
Okay. Is it enough?
I think that's enough.
Okay, sip. Thank you, Mr. Made, for detailed answer, and thank you for to the audience for your great question. So let's move on to the next presentation. Okay, well, let's welcome Laureta Devi Fajarvanti, who will present her paper titled Refining Word for Improved BERT Model Performance in User Review Classification. So, Mrs. Laureta, are you ready? Wait, I cannot hear your voice clearly. Can you repeat again? No, it's still not working. Maybe it just on me or another audience too. Dava, can you hear the presenter voice?
No.
Okay. Sorry, Mrs. Laureta, maybe the microphone or the headphone. Can you setting up again? No, is it not working? Okay, okay. Okay, maybe Mrs. Loretta can setting up again before presentation. And we move to the fourth presenter. We have Analia Alfia, okay, who will present her paper titled AI Generated Text Detector for English Written Essay Using Ensemble Roberta. So, Analia, are you ready?
Oh, yes, I'm ready.
Okay, so Mrs. Analia, time is yours.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Analia Alfia Rahma, student from Telkom University. It is a great honor for me to be here today to present our research collaborate with Campus Musim Laksamana, titled AI Generated Text Detector for English Writing Essay using Ensemble Roberta. This study aims to detect AI generated text using an ensemble method based on Roberta to enhance text classification performance. Our presentation will cover the following section. The first one is introduction. In this section, we will discuss the background and the goals of the study to provide a clear context for our research. And the next one is the methodology. I will explain the method and research process, including the data preparation and model implementation. And the next one, for the result, we'll highlight the key findings and discuss the performance of the proposed model. And finally, for the conclusion, we will summarize the main point of the study and outline potential direction for future work. Let's move to the first section, the introduction. As we know, large language models are a fast-growing artificial intelligence field. LLM like ChatGPT capable of generating human-like text and have a significant impact on education field, but also present challenges such as inhibit critical thinking and writing skill development. Several studies have been done on text classification tasks with AI-generated text, especially using transformer-based model. Although it have excellent performance result, there are limitations to the use of small dataset with short text data. The use of this dataset can reduce the generalization ability of the model. Other research has limitation in using traditional machine learning model that cannot understand the context of word in a sentence. Therefore, the study overcome this limitation by using a larger dataset with longer text and implement a transformer-based method, Ensemble Roberta. Our research focused to develop an AI-generated text detection to address this limitation by using a transformer-based ensemble-Roberta approach to improve contextual understanding and achieve better results in text classification tasks. In this research, we utilize Roberta, an advanced version of BERT, to perform the text classification tasks. To enhance the performance, we implement an ensemble approach. This approach combines 3 Roberta models, each model trained with different configuration for epoch number and learning rate. The diagram on the right shows how ensemble methods combine 3 Roberta models to make the final model use. And then for the dataset, we use dataset from Kaggle, created by Vanderbilt University and the Learning Agency Lab. Consists of over 11,000 texts, including both human-written and AI-generated samples. Here the flow from the research process, including data preprocessing, dataset splitting, ensemble modeling, predicting, and evaluation. For the data preparation, we carried out data cleaning, normalization, tokenization, and followed by data splitting. We developed 3 separate Roberta models with unique learning rate and epoch setting configuration. This configuration can be seen on the red tables, and the prediction from these 3 models were combined to form an ensemble. And finally, we evaluate the ensemble performance using precision, recall, and advanced score metrics. And then, for the result, our ensemble Roberta model achieved the best performance compared to other individual models with an advanced score of 98.692%. This result highlights the effectiveness of the ensemble approach in combined prediction from multiple models to improve performance of the models. Among the individual models, Roberta M2 stood out by giving the highest performance, while Roberta M3 has the lowest performance among the 3 individual models. It's still giving the excellent result. This indicates that even the lowest performing model, Roberta is still capable for this classification task. We also compared this method with common machine learning classification model like naive Bayes, SVM, and random forest. The Roberta ensemble method gave the best result, outperforming traditional machine learning model in both precision and advanced score. Among the traditional models, naive Bayes has the highest recall score, showing its strength in identifying relevant data. On the other hand, the SVM model had the worst performance overall. And meanwhile, the random forest model performed better than both naive Bayes and SVM, making it a strong traditional machine learning model option. And then for the analysis, our ensemble Roberta achieved the best performance with an advanced score of 98.692%. Further analysis highlight that Roberta self-attention mechanism enable a deep understanding of complex linguistic patterns, which is critical for text classification tasks, and also random forest as an ensemble Bayes model perform well in this research, indicate that the ensemble model is quite effective in performing text classification tasks. And then in conclusion, the ensemble Roberta method as transformer-based model show great potential in detect AI-generated text, deliver outstanding performance compared to traditional machine learning model, and for the future research, we'll focus on expanding the dataset, optimizing hyperparameter, and integrating this model into the real-world applications such as plagiarism detection system or sentiment analysis tools. Thank you for your attention and opportunity. I open for question and discussion.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Analia, for the excellent presentation. Next, we will now open the floor of question. So, ladies and gentlemen, please raise your hand or type your question in the chat, and I will call on you. And before you show your question, please introduce yourself and your affiliation before asking. Okay. Okay. Wait. Okay, please, Mr. Fauzan Novel.
Okay, thank you for the time. Such a good presentation. I want to ask something. Why does this study compare the Roberta ensemble with traditional baselines such as NFBIAS, SVM, and Random Forest instead of more modern NLP models? Yeah, I think that's the question. Thank you.
Okay, please answer, Miss Analia.
Okay, thank you for the question. I will answer. So, the model is compared to the traditional machine learning model that have been widely used in text classification text. The use of the traditional model aims to see how far modern methods can overcome this limitation of traditional machine learning model. And also in this study, no hyperparameter tuning was performed uh, because it was done to compare the basic performance of the traditional model to the main model. The use of default parameter makes the result more objective without the effect by hyperparameter optimization that can improve performance. Thank you.
Is it clear, Mr. Fauzan?
Yes, it's clear. Thank you.
Okay, so next question is from Miss Elvira Wulandari. Please give your question.
Thank you for the opportunity. My question is, how do you choose the learning rate and epoch parameters for the Roberta model? Thank you.
Okay, so the both parameters are chosen based on their influence on the model ability to predict accurately and its generalization ability. Learning rate is step size when updating model weight in the training process. The use of this parameter is the convergence the model to reach its optimal point, which ultimately affect the performance of the model. Meanwhile, an epoch is a parameter that determine how many times the model can learn the entire dataset during the training process. The use of this epoch can improve the model ability to generalize and make accurate prediction.
Okay, is it clear, Miss Elvira?
Yes, it's clear. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So the last question is from me. Okay, Miss Analia, your paper discussed about assemble method with Roberta for detecting AI-generated text in essays, right?
Right.
Okay, how do you make sure your assemble method works well for different writing styles and essays? Okay, especially when telling apart human and AI-generated content.
So this model is effective to learn learn the meaning of the text in a sentences. So I think the model is capable for understanding the contextual of the text. So it can make accurate prediction, especially in human writing and AI generated text. And I think it's also capable for any diverse of dataset because the model itself is already already has a good performance.
Okay, so Roberta algorithm is one of pre-trained model that we can use in another datasets.
I think yes.
Okay. Okay. Is it enough? Thank you,
Thank
Miss
you.
Analia. Okay. So we will move to the next presentation. Next is from Fauzan Naufal Rizky, who will present his paper on multi-label classification of Al-Quran's verses using ensemble method and BERTs. Okay, so Mr. Fauzan, are you ready?
Yes, Miss. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Fauzan, please go ahead. Time is yours.
Okay. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Fauzan Naufal Rizky, and I'm honored to present our research title, Multi-Label Classification of Al-Quran Verses using Ensemble Method and BERT. This research was conducted in collaboration with Mr. Muhammad Arif Bijaksana and Mr. Bunyamin. Okay, now let me walk you through the key sections of these presentations. For the first one, we will discuss about introduction, where we will discuss the significance of classifying Quran verses and the study's objective to improve accuracy using a hybrid ensemble approach. And then we move into the second section, that is related studies and contribution, where highlights gaps in previous research and emphasize the study's novel integration of traditional models with BERT. For the third section, there is research methods, and for the last section, there is experiment results and conclusions. Okay, for the first one, we move into introduction. The background of this research is rooted in the complexity of the Quran verses, a text with multifaceted meanings. Each verse often carries overlapping thematic messages, making its classification into thematics categories vital for scholars, educators, and researchers. However, the challenge lies in performing multi-level classification, since a single verse may belong to multiple overlapping categories. This brings us to the problem statement, like traditional models struggle to fully capture the depth of and context of Quranic verses, and then advanced models like BERT require large data sets and are computationally intensive. And then existing research lacks effective hybrid strategies for multi-level classification. To address this, the objective of this study is to develop a hybrid ensemble approach that combines SVM, left bias, and BERT to improve classification accuracy, and then to evaluate the impact of various preprocessing strategies on classification performance. Finally, we sought to answer three key questions here, where how do traditional models perform compared to transformer-based model like BERT? And then what is the impact of pre-processing methods on model performance? And the last one, can ensemble strategies effectively combine the strengths of different models? And the goals of this research guided by three primary objectives. For the first one, to evaluate ensemble methods for multi-level classification of Al-Quran verses, and then to assess the impact of preprocessing on classification accuracy, and then to find optimal model combinations, balancing accuracy and efficiency. Let me walk you through the methodology on this research, where we're starting with the dataset. We use an annotated dataset of Quranic verses for classification, and then we move into pre-processing, where the text underwent cleaning steps such as removing subword, stemming, and then formatting for consistency. And for data splitting, the data was divided into training and testing sets to evaluate the models. For traditional models, here we use SVM and F-bias were trained using TF-IDF vectorizations, followed by individual performance evaluations. For BERT implementation, here the verses were tokenized and fine-tuned with BERT for better contextual understanding. And the ensemble method weighting voting was applied to combine prediction from the models. Let me now highlight the related studies and the contribution of our research. First, let's discuss the related studies, where Nur and Ali in 2021 applied BERT with LSTM and GRU to handle contextual representation in Quran text. And then there is Khairul Fiqhi et al. In 2022 focus on knife-based variants for simplicity and efficiency, achieving a Hamming loss of 0.1167, demonstrating the effectiveness of lightweight models. And Ned Abdullah et al. In 2022 showcase ensemble methods in imbalanced biomedical datasets using bagging, boosting, and stacking, aligning with challenges in Quran verse analysis. Building upon these foundations, our research brings several novel contributions, like we introduced a hybrid ensemble approach combining SPM, left bias, and BERT for multiple classification of Al-Quran verses, and then highlighted the importance of minimal preprocessing, preserving semantic richness, and we demonstrated that the traditional models like SVM can outperform more complex models in semantic heavy tasks with lower computational requirements. And then additionally, we address the limitation of BERT in a smaller datasets by integrating it within an ensemble framework. Lastly, our research provides a scalable framework for analyzing complex religious texts. Now we move into research method details. For the overview, our research have goal like multi-level classification of Quran verses using a combination of traditional and transformer-based models. Those are some key steps. The first one is data collection, where we gathering and preprocessing Quranic verse translations. Here we use English translation for Quranic verses, and then model training. We are using SVM, left-bias, and BERT. For preprocessing variations, here we use evaluating multiple scenarios from full processing and then without stemming and then without stem removal. For ensemble approach, we combining models to assess performance, and here we use evaluation metrics like Hamming loss and F1 score. For the data collection and preprocessing, the data source is English translation of Quranic verses with thematic labels. Those are about 16 topics, where, as you can see in the picture, those are 16 topics with the top words dominated by Allah word. And then the data set is total verses, about over 6,000 verses with the format Excel with annotated labels. And the source is derived from Tafsir Al-Quran Cordova. For preprocessing steps, here we use like text normalizations, tokenization, stop removal, stemming, and for scenarios, here we have 3 scenarios with full processing and then without stemming, and then the last scenarios is without stemming and stop removal. And then the output is three preprocessed datasets for experimentations. For modeling process, here we use like SVM with RBF kernel for multi-level classification, and then F-bias, like multinomial F-bias for probabilistic classification, and then BERT pre-trained transformer-based model fine-tuned for first classifications. For ensemble strategies, here we use weighted voting, like combining prediction of SVM, F-bias, and BERT, and scanners like pairwise combinations and a 3-model ensemble with the detailed hyperparameters as you can see in the screen. For evaluation metric, we use Hamming loss for measures the proportion of misclassified labels, and then lower values indicate better performance. And F1 score aggregates contribution of all classes and reflects overall prediction performance. For computational analysis, training and inference time recorded for each model and ensemble. Now we move into experiment results, where as you can see, those are about 4 tables, which the first and the second and the third table is Hamming loss for each combination or each experiment. For the first table is Hamming loss from each model, individual model. As you can see, SVM reached the lowest Hamming loss for every scenario, significantly in the second and then third table, where those are combination from 2 ensemble models and 3 ensemble models, where SVM and F-bias reached the lowest Hamming loss, and the third model ensemble, SVM, F-bias, and BERT, we have that the lowest Hamming loss is when the scenarios without stemming and stop removal. For F1 score, there are significantly SVM and F-bias has the highest for F1 score with scenarios like before without stemming and stop removal, where 0.517. And then to the conclusion, to summarize the findings of our research, the first one is SVM dominance, where Among the individual models, SVM achieved the best performance with a Hamming loss of 0.081, demonstrating its robustness in handling multi-level classification tasks, especially with minimal preprocessing. And then ensemble superiority, the combination of SVM and FBIAS emerged as the best ensemble model, achieving the lowest Hamming loss of 0.0891 and the highest F1 score. This highlights the effectiveness of combining the simplest models for optimal performance. And then the forward limitation, but despite its advanced architecture, BERT consistently underperformed in all scenarios with a Hamming loss of 0.1110, indicating its sensitivities to smaller datasets and higher computational demands. And the impact of reduced preprocessing, interestingly, reducing pre-processing steps such as excluding stemming and stop removal, improve the performance of SVM and NFBIAS, emphasizing the importance of preserving semantic integrity. And for the last one is three-model ensemble, where the SVM, NFBIAS, while the three-model ensemble of SVM, NFBIAS, and BERT achieved a Hamming loss of 0.0919, it was less efficient compared to the simpler two models combinations, reinforcing the effectiveness of streamlined hybrid models. These results underline the balance between accuracy, computational efficiency, and the choice of preprocessing and modeling techniques for multi-level classification tasks. Okay, I think that's all of my presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Fauzan, for the interesting presentation. So we now have time for your question. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any question for Mr. Fauzan, please raise your hand and type your question in chat box, and I will call on you. And don't forget to introduce yourself first with your name and affiliation. Okay, there are any question?
I wanna ask a question, but I can't raise hand.
Okay, please, Miss Analia.
Okay, my name is Analia Firahma. I'm from Telkom University. I wanna ask the question: what is the significance of minimal preprocessing in improving classification accuracy, as highlighted in the study? Thank you.
Okay, please
Okay.
answer, Mr. Fauzan.
Okay, thank you. Such a good question, Miss Analia. I think minimal preprocessing play a crucial role in enhancing classification accuracy in this study. I think those are some following reasons. Like for the first one, like is preservation of semantic integrity, where excessive preprocessing steps such as stemming and stub removal can strip the text of important contextual and semantic information. By minimizing preprocessing, the models were able to capture richer patterns in the data, especially in religious texts where context is critical, I think. And the second reason is adaptation to multi-label data, where the overlapping thematics labels in Quranic verses require nuanced interpretations, where minimal preprocessing preserves subtle variations in the text that we were critical for accurate multi-label classification. And the third reason that is improve model performance, where traditional models like SVM and FBIAS benefited from retaining more linguistic features, which enhance their ability to discriminate between classes. This was evident in the improved Hamming loss and F1 score when preprocessing steps were reduced. And the last one, I think, is generalizability, where the study demonstrated that simpler preprocessing pipelines not only improve performance but also reduce the risk of overfitting, making the models more adaptable to real-world text classification tasks with diverse data source. I think in summary, minimal preprocessing balance the trade-off between preserving meaningful information and reducing noise, resulting in improved overall model performance. Yeah, I think that's the answer.
Okay, is it clear, Miss?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, next, the second question is from Mr. Fatan Asar. Please give your question.
Okay, my name is Fathan Asar. I'm from Telkom University. I'd like to ask, how does the use of ensemble methods improve the multi-label classification of Quran verses compared to individual models?
Okay. Thank you for the question, Mr. Fatan. I think like ensemble methods significantly improve the multi-label classification of Quran verses by leveraging the strengths of both traditional machine learning models and transformer-based model. For the first one, like diversity in model strength, where traditional models like SVM and naive Bayes excel in handling high-dimensional data efficiently. We're capturing patterns in term frequencies or relationships in structured datasets. And by combining these models, the ensemble mitigates individual model weaknesses while enhancing classification accuracy. And the next one is weighted voting strategy, where the ensemble use a weight voting mechanism to combine predictions. This allow the models to collaborate where stronger prediction from one model compensated for weaker prediction from another, I think. And then resilience to data variations, where ensemble methods demonstrates better adaptability to changes in pre-processing strategies, where outperforming individuals models in minimal pre-processing scenarios. And for example, while SPM and naive Bayes show variability depending on pre-processing levels, their ensemble consistently achieve better results. And yeah, some another reason like reduction in overfitting and practical benefits. Ensemble methods harness the complementary strengths of different algorithms, achieving like a higher balance of precision, robustness, and efficiency compared to standalone models. I think that's the answer.
Okay, is it clear?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay, thank you. So, the last question is from me. Okay, Mr. Fauzan. Okay, in your study, you applied an ensemble method with BERT for multi-label classification of Al-Quran verses, right? So, I want to ask you about how do you handle the challenge of ensuring that the multi-label classification is accurate, okay? Especially given the complex semantic and contextual meanings in Al-Quran verses.
Okay, I think thank you for the questions. How to ensuring that we have do some experiment and then do some hyperparameter tunings. I think that's the most important step where we want to make it for to want to get the better performance for each experiment that we do. So like in the methodology, we do some repeatability steps, like we do like pre-processing and then do some experiments and then do fine-tuning for birds, especially, and then uh, find the best hyperparameter for each model. So I think when we get our target for every model, then we evaluate it, and when we think that it's enough for us, I think we can ensure that the results will get the good output. I think like this. So hyperparameter tuning, like yes, there are some steps that we can do for ensuring that like BERT model can give us the good performance.
Okay, thank you. But okay, do you think to use another models like LLM or Roberta, Albert, and etc. To your next future works maybe?
Yes, I have write it in my paper for the future work. I think for the first one, we can do like explore more data sets, because yes, as we know that Al-Quran verses is limited. just over 6,000 verses.
Mhm.
But we can do it in the another data set, like maybe because bird need more data sets, more data sets is better. And then yes, as you said that we can do it with another LLMs models, like maybe Roberta or Distilberts, or more, or maybe like the more advanced model right now.
Okay, it's a good sound. Okay, thank you, Mr. Fauzan, for the detailed answer. So, we will move to the final presentation from Miss Loretta. Are you able to present well again?
Yes. Do you hear me, Miss?
Okay, it's pretty clear, but sounds like you can up your volume.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, thank you, Miss Loretta. Well, let's welcome Loretta Devi Fajar Fanti, who will present her paper titled Refining Word for Improved BERT Model Performance in User Review Classification. So, Miss Loretta, are you ready?
Yes, ready, Miss?
Okay, Miss Loretta, the time is yours.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Introduce myself. My name Laureta Devi. I'm from Institute Teknologi 10 November, and today I will present about our research. It is about refining word for improved BERT model performance in user review classification. In my presentation consists of 4 points. They are introduction, methodology, research, and conclusion. Introduction. In digital era, mobile applications have grown rapidly and become an integral part of daily life. Almost of every aspect of modern life, from communication, shopping, education, healthcare, can now be accessed by mobile application. Developers continue to innovate to create applications capable user-specific needs. Along with the growth in the number of applications available on platforms such as Google Play Store, Apple Play Store, and the number of users downloading and using the application has also continued to increase. So, user review are an important part of the application sustainability because user review can influence the other to use the application. In user review include not only positive and negative aspect. It is about sentiment analysis, but also technical and non-technical aspect. Technical aspect relate to the application performance, while non-technical aspect relate to operation such as a store service and administration fees. This category indicate the team responsible for follow up the user review. But no, the large number of application review can become a challenge to categorize manually. As the review from user continue to increase, the manual categorization process become less efficient, time-consuming, and prone to error. Therefore, an automated approach is needed to help categories. And the rating style of review which use informal or everyday language along with typo and abbreviation word can affect the model ability to categorize the review accuracy. Inaccurate spelling, the use of non-standard word or uncommon abbreviation can make it difficult for the model to understand the context and the meaning of the review. So the result is classifying review into the 3 categories. They are technical, non-technical, and general. And analysis the impact of word refinement and classification model using the BERT. We use BERT because the BERT is a state-of-the-art NLP model that highly effective in understanding the context of sentence. The methodology we use in the research, we use 6 steps. The first is scraping dataset. The dataset in this study was obtained by scraping using user review from Google Play Store. The review used come from 5 applications. They are Platform Merdeka Mengajar, Halodoc, BNI Mobile, Shopee, and Gojek, with 1,000 review collected from each application. And the next step is pre-processing is performed to clean data by removing empty entries, emoticon, entry containing only emoticon or symbol, duplicate, excessive punctuals, excessive white space. And then the data obtained from Google Play Store doesn't have the label. So in this test, data labeling is performed using Snorkel. Snorkel is a weak supervision framework that enables automatic data labeling based on the rule. This method helps accelerate the annotation process to large dataset while maintaining label consistently. And the next step is refine incomplete word and convert slang word into standard form. Incomplete words are refined using SimSpell, a fast and efficient spelling correction algorithm that identifies correctly spelled words based on the reference dictionary. An additional slang words are replaced with their formal equivalent to improve the quality of the text data, making it more structured and easier to process. This step ensures that the text analysis produce more accurate and consistent results. And the next is classify using the BERT. The performance of its model will be evaluated using confusion metric. In the table is shown the example of data. This research uses using a dataset in Indonesia language. This is equivalent to category. It is about 3 category: technical, non-technical, and general. It is the first is labeling data, because we know that in Google Play Store review, no data is labeling about technical, non-technical, and general. So the first two exactly what in this study, we use 10,000 review for each application. The review data is cleaned by remove entry that only contain emoticon and those with single word. And then word weight is performed using TF-IDF, and from this word, keyword for technical and non-technical categories will be selected. The obtained keyword will then be validated by experts to ensure whether they appropriate for the specific category. And then the labeling automation will Snorkel uses label function based on the available keyword, and the label model in Snorkel will determine the appropriate label function for the data and the final result of the labeling process. The next step is SimSpace. In initial step is in word refinement in converting slang word into formal word. I mean to standardize word usage and reduce word variance. SimSpell use dictionary of correctly spelled word and their frequency of occurrence. In this study, the Indonesia Wikipedia corpus is used. When a word is not found in the dictionary, it is considered a misspelling. SimSpell then calculate the edit distance between the misspelled word and the word in the dictionary. SimSpell search for words in the dictionary that have the lowest edit distance from the misspelled word, identifying them as candidate correct word. If there are multiple matching candidates, SimSpell will select the word with the highest frequency as the most likely correction. The next is classification using the BERT. We use the Indo-Briggs math and fine-tuning with the research dataset. It is the chart shown the data distribution from labeling using Snorkel, where the technical class has a higher number of data points compared to the other class. This is a example of reprocessing data. They are without word refinement, and manual word refinement. This is the experiment trial, we carry out each dataset and combining all dataset using Epoch, LearningLab, and Batches. In the result, we know that Shopee have the best performance in F1 score in other data, single data, but data have the best performer. So the conclusion is a large number of dataset will improve the performance of the classification model. The experiment research shown that the combined data achieve better performance. Slang word and word refinement improve the performance of the model. A large data set give better result. As seen is the F1 score improvement of the combined data set with word refinement which reached 60, 80, 60, 81%. This value increased 0.0117 compared to the data set without word refinement. In the future research we suggest to applying oversampling technique to handle data imbalance and try to employing alternative approach for word refinement. Okay, I think that's all for my presentation.
Okay, thank you, Miss Loretta, for the insightful presentation. So we have time for your question. So, ladies and gentlemen, please use the raise hand feature or type your question in the chat box if you have any question for Miss Loretta. And I will call on you to ask your question. And don't forget to introduce yourself and your affiliation first. Okay. Maybe any question from audience? Okay. There is question and chat box from Mr. Aga. So, I'm Aga from UGM. So I noticed that manual refinement often give the best accuracy. Can you explain more about the process, Miss
Yes.
Loretta?
Okay. We use manual refinement is to use the evaluate the effectiveness of SimSpell. That experiment research showed that SimSpell improve model performance, but the results are still below manual refinement. This confirms the important role of the word refinement in improving the performance of classification model. So in the future, what we suggest to more explore the alternative approach for word refinement.
Okay. Is it clear, Mr. Aga? Okay, clear. Okay. There's any question from another audience? Okay, I think there's no question. So, the question from me, Miss Loretta. So, can you explain? Okay, before that, I really interested about how to you label your data set. So, can you explain more the labeling process you use in your study? And did you use a specific method? And why do you choose that approach? Is it manual or maybe automatic methods?
Okay. For the labeling data, we use a library Snorkel. It is use a generative labeling using the rule, and in this research we use the keyword rules. So, at the first, we extract the keyword from the user review dataset, a more Google review dataset, and we manual to select the technical and non-technical keyword. After we select technical and non-technical keyword, the keyword is the keyword be validated by experts to ensure that keyword. And then we generate the label function in Snorkel to labeling the data. Okay.
So, the follow-up question is, how to define the difference between technical keywords and non-technical keywords? Because this words is new for me, so yeah, I want to know how to uh how to get the technical keyword and non-technical keywords.
This is a guideline of the technical keyword and non-technical keyword. Technical keyword is review that focus on the technical aspect of the application, such as about bug, performance, application slowdown, specific feature, and etc. In this review will be followed up by team application. And then non-technical review is related to business process, and it review will be follow up by operational management. Like example is admin costs are expensive. Driver like cancel suddenly is more is need to follow up by operation management.
Okay, so the output of this process is three categories or three classes: technical,
Yes.
non-technical, and general.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, maybe the last question is, were there any challenges you faced during the label process, and how did you overcome them?
The challenge to labeling is to extract the keyword technical and non-technical. Actually, in non-technical, in many applications have a different keyword from non-technical. So we combine 5 applications.
Oh, okay. Okay, is it pretty clear? Thank you, Miss Loretta.
Yes.
Maybe any question from the other audience? Okay, I think is it enough for 5 presenter of this parallel sessions. Thank you so much everyone for being here today. As we finish our parallel session, I'd like to take a moment to thank all our presenters for their wonderful contribution for ECDS 2025, because your insight were truly valuable and we appreciate all, especially for NLP and implementation of text in AI. And thank you also for all of you for your question and for being involved throughout the sessions, because your participation is really made this session is so impactful, yeah. So before we end, we will take a quick photo together to remember this moment. So please kindly turn on your camera and we will take a picture. Maybe Mas Dafa can help us capture this moment.
Yes, I can.
Okay. So I will let this take a picture. So please give your best smiles. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Cheese.
One more, miss.
Okay, one more. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Cheese.
Okay, done.
Okay, thank you, Mas Dava, and thank you for our presenter. Again, thank you all for being a part of this session. Thank you for participating in Ichadais 2025. I hope you enjoy for this discussion, and I wish you all a great rest of your day. See you in the next session, or maybe see you in the next international conference from Telkom University. So, good afternoon and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you, Miss.